Hello, how are you everyone? Again, warm welcome to my online lecture. This is Dr. Jayavardhan Balkhande, Assistant Professor in Zoology, Digambarao Bindu, Arts, Commerce and Science College, Bhokar District, Nanded, Maharashtra. Friends, as per Swami Ramananda Tirth Maharashtra University, Nanded, BSc third year curriculum, we have pisciculture as an optional paper in BSc third year zoology. Okay, and we have already started the paper called pisciculture. The first point of this pisciculture paper we have discussed. Okay, the first point, that is the fish farm engineering, is already discussed in previous lecture. Now today we are going to start the next part of this unit, is the management of different fish ponds present in the fish farm. Okay, means whatever the ponds is constructed in the fish farm, we have to manage them before the actual fish culture is start. Okay, so according to the different sizes, the ponds, they are according to the size of fishes, the different size of ponds there were constructed. Okay, so the different types of ponds are required for culture of different life history stages of calves in fish farms. Okay, as far as the fish farm is concerned, we know the fish farm, it contains the nursery pond, the rearing pond and the stocking. Friends, see here, nursery pond, we have already discussed that the stages of fishes means from eggs, the hatchling, the spawn, then the fry, the fingerling and the marketable size fishes. Okay, according to their sizes, we have to construct the different types of ponds in the fish farm. Okay, now the number, size and the ratio of these ponds depends upon the farm area, whatever the farm we have selected or the place we have selected, the farm area, then the water source. What is the water source for the particular farm? Fish farm is it may be river, it may be reservoir or other pond. Okay, so the water source, then the size of fish to be cultured and type of management. It is very important aspect. Okay, so see here the ponds which we have constructed in the fish farm is the number one. One by one we have seen, we will see the ponds. Okay, so number one is the nursery pond. See, these are the smallest of the pond of the fish pond and usually measure about 0.02 to 0.06 hectare in size and its depth is 1 meter. Okay, so these ponds meet for nursing the hatchling or the spawn. That is, the size of the hatchling or the spawn is at the time of introduction in the nursery pond is 5 to 6 mm. Okay, for a period of 15 to 30 days, means half month or 1 month. Okay, until they become converted into fry, and the size of the particular fry is 2.5 to 3 centimeter in length. Okay, so in the practice about 10 million spawn per hectare are stocked in nursery ponds. In nursery pond we can culture 10 million spawn per hectare. Okay, and since these ponds are used only for a short period, the 15 to 30 days, which is a short period. Okay, so these ponds are used for only short period, so they could be used for twice or thrice in a breeding in a single breeding season. Okay, as we know, the breeding season of the particular Indian male calves starts from the May, June, July. Okay, so we can use these ponds twice or thrice in a single breeding period. Okay, now during the seasons, the nurseries can also be used as a rearing or production ponds also. Okay, and the nursery ponds may be earthen or constructed with brick and cement above ground level in order to reduce the mortality rate of fry. Okay, this is nothing but the nursery pond in the fish farm. Okay, now the next is the rearing pond. So rearing pond is larger than the nursery pond, slightly larger than the nursery pond. Okay, and it is usually measure about 0.08 to 0.1 hectare in size and 1 to 1.5 meter in the depth. Okay, and in the rearing pond, the fry grown for 2 to 3 months. Again, the period or the time of the culture of the fry in this rearing pond is for 2 to 3 months. Okay, so and up to they become means when we stock the fry into the pond, that particular pond, the fry size is near about 2.5 to 3 centimeter. Okay, when their growth is completed in the nursery pond, they become 2.5 to 3 centimeter. And when we add into the rearing pond, after 3 months, it became to 8 to 12 centimeter in length. Okay, so till we have to culture them in the rearing pond. Okay, and during off season, this rearing pond we can also use for the stocking purpose or the production purpose, because the period of culture of fry in this rearing pond is 3 months. Okay, so it is not possible to this rearing pond used for this rearing purpose only for only a single time it can be used. Okay, and later on after the period over, we can use it for the rearing purpose also. Okay, now the next pond in this regard is the production or the stocking pond. These are the largest among other ponds in a farm. Okay, means it is larger than the nursery and the rearing pond, and the size of the pond varies from 0.4 to 40 hectare or more, but the ideal size for the fish farm, fish farm, and for efficient management, it should be between 2 to 4 hectare only. Okay, and the depth of this pond is between 1.5 to 3 meter in. Okay, and these ponds and the used for growth for used for the fingerlings and advanced fingerlings or juveniles reared up to marketable size. Okay, means in this pond, the whatever the fingerlings we have procured from the rearing pond, that fingerling is reared or cultured in this pond for the marketable size, up to the marketable size, means, and the period of the culture is the 9 to 12 months, means near about 1 year we have to culture the fingerlings in the stocking pen up to the fishes go to the 1 to 2 kg. Okay, that should be we can that particular type of fingerlings we can culture or we can rear in the stocking ponds. Okay, this is nothing but the nursery, rearing and stocking. Okay, now in this regard, the main aspect of this unit is the management of nursery pond. Friends, I have already told you the what is nursery pond, what is the size of the particular nursery pond, but before the actual starting of the fish culture, we have to manage the pond. Okay, so the management of nursery pond is one of the most important aspect for successful fish culture practices. Okay, so the nursery pond is meant for growing spawn to fry stage. Okay, and the spawn and fry are extremely delicate and succumb to abrupt changes in water quality and can be easily preyed upon. Okay, so that's why this management of nursery pond is very important aspect in the fish culture. If we are fail to manage the nursery pond, then the fish production is not enough. Okay, so you have to manage first, and it is very most important criteria in the fish. Rear these fishes with almost a year. Okay, then the survival rate is more. Okay, and the nursery pond management includes, so here friends, when we think about the nursery pond management, there should be it includes in 3 steps. Means number 1, pre-stocking management. Okay, means before the spawn is stocked into the nursery pond, then the stocking actually how much how much spawns should be stocked in the nursery pond, and the post-stocking management. After the stocking the spawn in the pond, we have to manage the post-stocking management. Okay, so see one by one. The first is the pre-stocking management. Number 1, in this pre-stocking management, here about 10 aspect is there. Okay, number 1 is the dewatering and drying. Friends, see here, dewatering and drying. It is very important. The nursery pond management operations starts right from the summer. Okay, first is the dewatering and the drying. So you should start this action in the summer season. First, water is removed from the ponds and then exposed for the sun drying. If any water is remaining in the particular pond, so at that time you have to drain all the water from the pond, and the pond is exposed to the sun drying. Okay, and why we should did this? Because see here, drying of ponds in summer helps in mineralization of soil, then the removal of organic detritus, and the automatic destruction of the pathogens which causes the diseases to the fishes. Okay, and aquatic weeds, then the predatory and unwanted weed fishes, if present in the that particular pond, so that should be removed from the pond. So with this, the dewatering and drying is must, or it is essential. Okay, then the next is the desilting. The desilting, the silt which it is rich humus or excess organic matter at the bottom is removed. Whatever the excess organic matter is there, that should be removed. Okay, and this can be used to fill the sides of the sides and the side of the side and strengthening the bund. Okay, then this soil has a manurial value and helps to increase the productivity of the pond after the watering. Okay, and the minor repairs, if any repair is there, so you should repair the minor repairs. For example, inlet is there, then the outlet is there, or any leakage is there, so you should repair all these minor repairing in the desilting. Okay, and the next aspect in the pre-stocking management is the control of predatory and weed fishes. Friends, see here, another important aspect is the control of predatory and weed fishes. So the common predatory fishes, they are Channa species. Okay, there's Channa striatus, Channa molus, Channa striatus. Okay, so these are the some Channa species. Then the Valaguatu is there, Heteroptesis fossil is there. Most destructive predatory fish is the Carius batrachus over there. Okay, and the Anamus is there. So this cause heavy mortality of a spawn as they feed on the spawn of the calves. That's why you should remember this while preparing the pond for the culture or in the pre-stocking management. This point is very important because all the predatory fishes, they feeds on the spawn of the calves, and if such happens, then the survival rate of the spawn is very less. Okay, so and the common weed fishes like the Puntius, Rasbora, okay, then the Chela, etc. The weeds fish are not predatory. Again, the weed fish, they are not predatory, but they live in the water and they compete for the food and space with the culture fish. That's why they should remove from the water, the pond. Okay, before the stocking. Now they must eradicate from the nursery pond either by netting or the poisoning. So many method is there to eradicate the fishes from the pond. Okay, so poison or fish toxicant derived from the plant source, hydrocarbons and organophosphates are commonly used for the eradication of the unwanted fishes from the pond. Okay, and the poison from plant origin such as the dairy root powder. It should be used in the ratio of 5 ppm. Then the mahua oil cake should be used 200 ppm, and the tea seed cake 75 to 100 ppm are commonly used to control the this type of fishes. Okay, and many more number of along with this fishes, number of other other factors are also present in the pond, such as the frog tadpoles, then the aquatic insects and their larvae, then snails. Okay, the active ingredients of this routine. Okay, and if it is a contact poison affecting a respiratory system of the particular insect or the other animals, and it leads to death, so you can use the dairy root powder for this purpose. Okay, then the mahua oil cake has a saponin 4.6% as a chief poisonous component. Okay, and which enters the bloodstream and causes hemolysis of red blood cells, thereby leading to death of fish in about 5 hours. Okay, so it should remember that all this treatment is given to the pond before the spawn stocking in the nursery pond. Means before the 15 or 20 days before we should try all these things. Okay, now the next aspect in this is the control of aquatic weeds. Another important aspect, because here the aquatic weeds affect the fish culture by limiting the space for the movement of fishes, and the competing with the phytoplankton by absorbing nutrients, and the causing imbalance in the dissolved oxygen concentration also. Okay, means whatever the dissolved oxygen present in the water body, because presence of these particular weeds, they utilize this dissolved oxygen, and it is again harmful to the spawn present in the nursery pond. So you should remove before the stocking of the spawn. Okay, now the aquatic weeds, it is algal weed is there, that is for example Spirogyra, Chara or Nitila. Okay, and the floating weeds and the Lemna, Pistia, Ozola, etc. Then the emergent weeds, then the Nymphaea, Typha, etc. Then the submerged weed is the Vallisneria, Hydrilla, Najas. Okay, and lastly the marginal weeds, that is the Ipomea or the Marsilia. This all weeds should be cleared before the stocking the fish spawn in the nursery pond. Okay, the number of method is there for the controlling the aquatic weeds. So it should be controlled with the mechanical, chemical and biological ways. Okay, so see here mechanical, by using just the mechanical way, it includes the collection and disposal of the weeds by cutting, then the dragging, then the plugging. Okay, and the chemical method involves spraying of different chemicals on the surface layer of the water body, so that particular chemicals, for example the cymazine, that is 5 kg per hectare you can use, or ammonia 15 ppm, or 80% of 2,4-D, that is 2,4-dichlorophenoxy acetic acid 5 to 7 kg per hectare. Okay, this type of chemicals we can use for the controlling the floating weeds. Okay, then the dichlorophenil 10 kg per hectare, or the phenol, that is the 2,3,6 trichlorophenyl acetic acid is 10 kg per hectare is used for controlling the emergent weeds. Okay, then the ammonia 15 ppm, cymazine 3 to 5 ppm for or urea 250 ppm, or sodium arsenate or superphosphate 500 ppm you can use for the controlling the submerged weeds. Okay, and the dichlorophenyl 10 kg per hectare, or the phenol are to be used to draining the water from the fish pond. Okay, and see here the marginal weeds also controlled by the by just uprooting the weeds. Okay, because they are present on the margin of the pond there. Okay, so it is very easy to eradicate from the nursery. Okay, now see, it should be noted that the phenyl are to be used after draining the water from the fish pond. Okay, so these chemicals, they should be used before the draining the used after draining the water from the fish pond. Okay, then the biological method, we know the number of fishes they feeds on the weeds. So for example, the grass carp or the grass carp and the common carp that feed on the most of the weed. Okay, so you can culture the fish, or you can just add the fishes before the addition of the spawn in the pond. Okay, so this is the control of aquatic weeds. Now the fifth point is the liming. Friends, this is the first step in fertilization of nursery pond. Okay, and after eradicating the unwanted fishes and weeds, if present, lime should be applied in the pond. Okay, so liming is the most essential to maintain the pH. Why should we lime the pond? Because it maintains the pH of the water, and the water should be slightly alkaline because the fish food organisms develop well at the pH 7.5 to 8.5. Means whatever the natural food is produced or in the nursery pond, that should be increases if we use this lime. Okay, means if the pH of the water is from 7.5 to 8.5, then the natural production in the form of planktons, they should increase. Okay, so it should be done before the stocking the spawn in the nursery. Okay, now application of lime to the bottom pond bottom helps to eradicate the harmful bacteria and fish parasites also. Okay, it's one of the also another important aspect in this liming is the eradication of harmful bacteria and fish parasites. Okay, and it also maintain the hygienic condition of the water. That's why the lime is very important aspect. Okay, now the lime material like the agricultural lime, hydrated lime, and the quick lime, that is CaO, quick lime, are commonly used in fish pond. Of these, the quick lime CaO is the best and most commonly used in the fish pond. Okay, and the quantity of lime is applied depend on the pH of the soil. Whatever the soil is there, soil's pH is there. So according to the pH, you can add the lime in the fish pond. For example, if the pH of water is between 4 to pH of soil is between 4 to 4.5, then the soil is highly acidic. So you can apply 1000 kg per hectare lime into the nursery pond at that time. Okay, and if the pH of soil is between 4.5 to 5.5, just medium acidic, so you can apply 700 kg per hectare lime in the pond. And if the pH of soil is between 5.5 to 6.5, slightly acidic, so you can add 500 kg per hectare lime in the nursery pond. And if the pH of soil is 6.5 to 7.5, means it is near neutral, or it is neutral. Okay, so in that case, you just use this lime at the ratio or at the rate of 200 kg per hectare. Okay, so this is the fifth factor of the pre-stocking management of nursery pond, that is the liming. Now the sixth and most important factor is the watering. So while watering pond, care should be taken to avoid the entry of exogenous fish into the pond, either at the egg or the young or the adult stage. Friend, see here, whatever the source we have, the water we have taken, or we have used the water for the fish farm. For example, if we are using the water from river, we are using the water from reservoir. Okay, at that time when we take the water from the particular resource, so at the inlet pipe is there. Okay, so at that place you have to place one screen over there. Okay, and it should be a sealed screen is there, and because of this, what happened? The fishes do not enter into the nursery pond. Okay, and it should be avoided to enter into the nursery pond. If such happens, or if the particular fishes is introduced into the nursery pond, then it is very harmful, because they all among this that particular fishes, some fishes they are predatory in nature and they feeds on the spawn, or they if they are not predatory, if they are weed fishes or other unwanted fishes, they can compete food into the nursery pond. So this care should be taken while watering is done in the nursery pond. Okay, and the fertilizers, it is again a very important aspect in the pre-stocking management, is the 7th point, fertilizers or manuring. See here, fertilization has to be done after filling the pond with water. Okay, and the main aim why we should manuring the pond water. See here, the main aim of the fertilization of water is the production of adequate quantities of plankton, that is the natural food of the fish. Okay, so that is the reason why we add this manure or the fertilizer in the pond. Okay, and no doubt the plankton, they are the main food of the carp spawn. Okay, so carp spawn being phytoplanktonous, maintenance of sufficient quantity of food or plankton in nursery pond before stocking spawn is prerequisite. Okay, so this should be done while pre-stocking management of the nursery pond. Fertilizers used in ponds are of two types. One is the organic manure and another is the inorganic fertilizer. Okay, and the organic manures commonly used in ponds are cow dung or cattle dung, poultry manure, pig manure, compost, etc. And inorganic fertilizers are superphosphate, DAP, urea, then the NPK, okay, the nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and the calcium, magnesium play a significant role in pond fertility, along with the trace elements like manganese, boron, iron, then the zinc, cobalt, okay, etc. So the most commonly used manure for the nursery pond is raw cattle dung. The application of raw cattle dung at the rate of 10 to 15 tons per hectare before stocking the spawn and 5 ton per hectare 7 days after stocking the spawn maintain a good amount of zooplankton in the pond. Okay, so this care should be taken. We have to add the cow dung before the stocking the spawn, means it should be add 10 to 15 tons per hectare a week before the spawn stock, and 5 tons per hectare after the 7 days after stocking the spawn. Okay, then an overdose of organic manure. If we give overdose to the overdose of manuring in the nursery pond, what happened? See here, friends. Again, it is very complicated for the spawn, because see here, it may have adverse effect on fish fry, particularly in causing bacterial and fungal diseases and oxygen depletion. Okay, and leading to massive or mass mortality in the nursery pond. So this should be avoided. No, don't get the overdose of the manure. Okay, and if again more important aspect is if more or the sufficient plankton is produced with the organic manure only. Okay, if the when we add organic manure in the form of cow dung or cattle dung or the pig dung, okay, so at that time we should observe the plankton diversity. Okay, and if we found that the after adding the particular organic manure, the amount of plankton is sufficient, then don't add chemical fertilizer into the pond. Okay, again, if we have or if you if the sufficient amount of plankton is there, but still we have adding chemical fertilizer into the pond, then it should be again adverse effect on the fry, because if we add this chemical fertilizer, the development of algal bloom is more. Okay, and if algal bloom is more, then the oxygen depletion happen in the pond. So for avoiding this condition, means the application of organic manure may be avoided if the pond has already treated with mahua oil cake, as it serves not only as a pesticide but also a source of organic manure also. Okay, so this point should be noted when we think about the fertilization or the manure of the nursery pond. Okay, now the next aspect, that is 6, pre-stocking management of nursery pond, is the control of algal blooms. It is also a important aspect, because here sometimes highly fertilized nursery ponds, algal blooms are formed. Okay, and algal blooms are invariably caused by unicellular and filamentous algae with in part green, reddish, brown and bluish green coloration to the water. Okay, and algal blooms are caused by Euglena, Volvox, and the blue green algae like Microcystis, Anabina, Oceturia, okay, Spirina, etc. So this should be controlled, okay, before the spawn is stocked in the nursery pond. Or these algal blooms can be treated, or they can be controlled by application of 1 ppm copper sulfate or 0.5 ppm cyanazine, or by covering the surface of the pond with the dark weed lemna. Okay, see, the lemna covering the surface of the water and prevent the growth of algae, and with this method the blooms are controlled within 3 to 4 days, and the duckweeds should be removed from the pond with the help with the cloth net 1 to 2 days before the stocking of spawn. This care should be taken while management of the nursery pond. Okay, now the 9th point of this is the same as control weight, control the aquatic fishes, the control of aquatic insect. Okay, so control of aquatic insect along with the after watering and fertilization, predatory aquatic insects may sometimes develop enormously. Okay, so predatory aquatic insects belonging to the order Hemiptera and Coleoptera causes the heavy damage to the spawn. So you should eradicate them from the pond. So see here, water spider, back swimmer, then the water scorpions, then stick insects, giant giant water bugs, then the diving beetles. Okay, the names of dragonflies, the damselflies are commonly encountered in fish pond. Okay, so they are highly detrimental to fish pond and fry, and they do not only prey on fish seed but also compete for food. So hence this insect should be eradicated prior to stocking the spawn to ensure maximum survival rate of the fish spawn. Okay, so repeated drag netting in the pond or spraying an oil emulsion on the surface of water a day prior to spawn stocking in nursery pond is most effective in controlling this type of insects. Okay, then see here, the oil emulsion with 60 kg of oil and 20 kg of soap are sufficient to treat 1 hectare of water, and the soap is first dissolved in water and it is added to the oil and stirred thoroughly. Okay, and it is then sprayed on the surface of water during a still weather condition, so that a thin film is formed on the water. Okay, and the film formed due to the emulsion blocks the respiratory organs of most of the aquatic insects, okay, which normally comes to the surface to breathe the atmospheric air. Okay, and all the insects die of suffocation within 5 hours of application, and effects of emulsion last for 10 to 15 hours. So if insects are further noticed, then they can be eradicated by using Deldrine 0.5 ppm, okay, etc. See, and in this way we can control the aquatic insect from the nursery pond before the stocking of spawn in the nursery pond. Okay, now the last and the most important aspect in the pre-stocking management of nursery pond is the water quality. So water quality is very important aspect. Number of parameters, physico-chemical and biological parameters, they are very important as far as the fish culture is concerned. So before stocking, these parameters should check, and before the stocking these parameters should be checked. Okay, so see here, brown color of water indicates rich zooplankton, okay, growth, and green or the blue color indicates dominance of algae in the plankton. So some chemical parameters of the water in following ranges are the considered to be the optimal for survival and growth of spawn. So first is the most important factor is the dissolved oxygen. Okay, it should be 5 to 10 ppm or the 5 milligram per liter, more than 5 milligram per liter. Okay, then the pH, it should be between 7.5 to 8.5. Already we have discussed, because the slightly alkaline is more important, because of this particular alkalinity the natural food production is more. Okay, so pH is between 7.5 to 8.5. Then the carbon dioxide 15 ppm, ammonia 0.5 ppm, then the phosphate is 1 to 2 ppm, and the nitrate is 1 ppm is required for the fish culture practices. Okay, and again in this way we can estimate or we can analyze the particular water quality for the fish culture practices. Okay, then the next aspect in this regard is the stocking. Okay, means in what quantity we have stocked or the spawns in the nursery ponds. See here, nursery ponds generally stock at the rate of 5 to 6 million spawn per hectare. Okay, but recently some studies were done and they found that 10 million spawn can give 80% survival. So we can store 10 million spawn per hectare also. Okay, and that particular in 11 days of rearing. Okay, or 11 to 12 days of rearing. Then the stocking should be done. Another important criteria is the stocking should be done either early morning or the late evening. Okay, or as I have already discussed that the fry stage of the fishes or the carps, they are delicate, they do not tolerate high temperature. Okay, so avoiding the high temperature condition, we should stock these fry into the pond at the early morning or the late evening. Okay, and while we stock into the pond, acclimatization is very important aspect. So it acclimatizes the fish before the stock is very important. Okay, now the next part is the post stocking management. After the stocking, in post stocking management, one very important point is there, that is the feeding. So soon after stocking, the spawn start feeding voraciously, okay, on the plankton, on the natural food present in the pond. Okay, so as a consequence, plankton gets depleted in 2 to 3 days of stocking. Okay, so survival and growth of spawn are influenced mostly by the quantity and quality of food available in the pond. Hence, artificial feeding is more important. Okay, so it is necessary to, along with the plankton, from the next day of stocking, artificial feeding is must done. Okay, so the major carp spawn of 5 to 6 millimeter length weighs about 1.4 milligram. So usually the spawn in nursery ponds are fed with the rice bran and finely powdered groundnut oil cake in the ratio 1:1. Okay, means the rice bran and the finely powdered of groundnut oil cake. Okay, so at the rate of 2 to 4 times the body weight of the spawn stocked. Okay, and the feed is broadcast in the pond. Okay, so the feeding schedule is as per follows. See here, 2 to 5 days, double the initial body weight of the spawn stocked. Then 6 to 10 days, thrice the initial body weight of spawn stock, and the last, this 11 to 15 days, 4 times the initial body weight of the spawn stocked. Okay, and for better utilization, half of the feed is given during the morning hours and half during the evening hours every day. Okay, and birds like herons, cranes are controlled by shooting, scaling or surface rating. So before, see here, number of bird is also attracted towards the nursery pond, so you should take care from these birds also. Okay, so then the next aspect in the post stocking management is the harvesting of fry. After in 15 days of nursery rearing, the spawn grows to size 20 to 25 fry. Okay, and at this stage the fry could be harvested and transferred to the rearing ponds. Okay, the supplementary feeding should be stopped day before harvesting. Okay, so this supplementary feeding you should stop before the harvesting of the fry stage. Okay, then the harvesting should be carried out again in the early morning or in the late evening to minimize the mortality of the fry. Again, already we have said that the mortality increases because they do not tolerate the high temperature, so that's why the harvesting is also done in the morning hours or the late evening hours. Okay, and so using number of mesh sizes, you can drag the net and pond is harvested by repeated netting. Okay, the survival rate would be 60 to 80%. If all these management we have performed in okay before the spawn stock. Okay, so at the time of harvesting, it would be 60 to 80% survival rate is there. Okay, so since the period of nursing is spawn is about 15 days, okay, or 15 to 20 or 30 days, so 3 to 4 crops of fry can be raised in a season of 3 months from the same nursery pond. Okay, so you should remember this nursery pond can be used twice or thrice in a single breeding period. Okay, so with this we have discussed the management of a nursery pond, and once the fry stage attained, it transferred to the rearing pond. Okay, so with this the management of nursery pond is finished here. Okay, and the next aspect is in this is the management of rearing and management of stocking pond. Okay, it should we will discuss it later on. Okay, with this and stop here. One more announcement is there. Again, my friends, my dear students, if you have any query about my this lecture or about this management of nursery pond, then please ask or please drop your questions in our Google Classroom or as well as on my YouTube channel also. Okay, till then, goodbye, stay home, stay safe. Thank you very much.